Hello and welcome to Unfudge Your Marketing. As you may already know, this is a show where I chat with amazing, talented business owners who have marketing mistakes to share. So sometimes I'm chatting with business owners who are talking about their own marketing mistakes, and other times I'm bringing on other marketing experts to talk about common mistakes they see their clients making. So that is the type of conversation we are having today. I am super excited to welcome a longtime friend and business colleague to the show. So today I will be chatting with Kim Marie McKernan. She is an international marketing leader, facilitator, and the founder of Inspired Outcomes Now. She helps CEOs, nonprofit leaders, and entrepreneurs bring their visions to life with brands, strategies, and turnkey websites that generate results. Drawing on her extensive experience as a marketing executive at a $3 billion global manufacturer of high-tech products and leading a marketing collective that has served over 150 organizations worldwide, Kim brings a unique blend of strategic expertise and creative problem solving to the table. Her passion is empowering conscious businesses to grow their impact. Kim is also a mentor with ShiftCo, a global community for conscious entrepreneurs, and a facilitator at the Women's Business Center at Canisius University, where she supports women in business through education and collaboration. Her academic credentials include an MBA from SUNY Buffalo, an MS in creative problem solving from the Center for Applied Imagination at SUNY Buffalo State, and a certification as a facilitator and appreciative inquiry. She's excited to share her insights on marketing, branding, and the power of conscious business with the Unfudge Your Marketing audience. So with that, I am so excited to welcome you to the show, Kim.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I can't believe we haven't had this conversation already, to be honest. I think maybe I thought I already had you on the show because you and I have known each other for so long. We were just chatting about that a little bit before we came on to record. Kim and I met because we both did presentations through a local organization here in Rochester called Tech Rochester. Kim is in Buffalo, so right down the thruway. And we both presented, and I think we both reached out to each other like afterwards, like after we saw each other's presentations, we're like, we have to connect. And I feel like it's just been a match made in heaven. Honestly, you and I have collaborated on more clients than I can even remember at this point. So whenever my clients come to me and they're not super clear on their brand, I'm like, okay, I got you. I'm bringing in an expert. And Kim is that go-to person. So, and you've done the same for your branding clients who need that marketing plan. So it's been awesome working with you.
Yes, you've really shown the way to how powerful a partnership can be.
Yes, I agree. So we have been in each other's worlds for a really long time. We've collaborated on a bunch of clients. I was really excited to bring Kim on the show today to talk about common mistakes she sees clients making, especially in the world of branding. I'm sure we're going to cover a bunch of different bases here. So Kim, I will ask you, how would you like to kick off this conversation today?
Yeah, I would love to talk more about brand strategy itself because it's a topic that's sometimes not addressed. And when people come to me and they say, oh, marketing doesn't work, I've tried all these things, a lot of times our conversation will discover it's a branding issue. And especially now, as people are trying to do a lot of do-it-yourself or maybe use AI, if their brand isn't clear, it shows up very quickly and intentionally. So the number one thing that I see with brand strategies in my customers, and I'm going to be completely transparent here, I made the same errors when I first started. I had the same issues, so I get it. So a lot of businesses look at themselves and really go deep into what they do and forget to really look at the point of view of the customer. So you really need to build your brand, not on what you like and what you do, but for the problems you solve for your customer. If you do that well, then your piece of it, Kristi, the marketing side, is almost effortless, right? It's all laid out for you in a very authentic way.
Yeah, and this is one of the like, this is a key reason I think that you and I just like go together so well, because that's what I do for clients on the content strategy side of things, is like, okay, we're not just going to go out and talk about ourselves. Like, what are the topics that our audience wants to hear about? What are the problems they're having, and how can we solve those problems for them? So your work leads so well into the piece that I do. That's part of the reason our partnership works so seamlessly. I would love to, because I've had some other branding people on the show as well to talk about the common mistakes they see. But I know that you have a little bit of a different take on things. And so I'd love for you to expand a little bit more on businesses that you've seen that just kind of overlook the branding piece. Is it like they don't realize that's important? Are they just trying to jump to execution before the brand strategy? Or where's kind of the point that you most commonly see business owners missing the mark?
So yes, and I would say all of those things that you said, but often they have just never addressed it. They go right into campaigns, they go right into the website and forget to really look at this piece, or only talk about what they do or their service and forget to talk about who they are, why they exist, what the customer experience is. And in many cases, customers care more about that, because there's other people that probably do what you do, but nobody does it like you do. If we can really articulate what is that thing that you do differently than everybody else, what sets you apart, then that's what we scream from the rooftops. And if you don't take the time to think that out, and if you don't ask your customers, then you don't really land it. And as you know, we have really seconds to connect with our customers. So if we don't do that well, then a lot of the marketing doesn't work.
Yes, absolutely. And I do this all the time on the show, and you did it earlier. Like, I'm going to raise my hand and admit, like, this is something that I did not take the time to do in my business. And that's actually part of the reason I was so drawn to you when we initially met and I saw your presentation. I was like, gosh, I haven't done that brand work for myself. I know what I offer. I know the clients I love working with. I know the impact of the work that I have when I work with them, but how do I talk about it? And it's one of those that I think, and I'm never afraid to admit this, that I hire branding and marketing people to help me with my own marketing, because it's one of those, like, you can't read the label from inside the bottle. I think it's so hard as a business owner to be able to know, how do I talk about this in a way that's going to resonate with my audience, not just in the way that I think I should talk about myself.
Yes, exactly. I think that piece of it, and there is some science behind it. There's this concept that came out of MIT called reflected best self. And when we're really good at something, we don't even give ourselves credit. Well, isn't everybody good at branding? It's so easy for me, right? Well, no, right? You don't always have visibility, even in your business, to what you do that others don't. So really being intentional with your brand strategy will unearth that, will help you in order to understand that and write that into the content that you develop and the marketing strategy that you develop.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I wasn't even planning on talking about this today, but you saying that reminds me of when I hired you to help me with my own branding, because I was still early in I want to say I was only like 1 or 2 years into doing my business. And I remember talking to you about how I felt like a little insecure about the fact that my marketing experience is like a little bit of everything. I had done a little bit of everything in the digital marketing world in my corporate days. And so I never felt like I fit. Like, I always felt like, well, I need to do more, and I need to learn more, and I need to do more things, and I need to be like a specialist in one specific area. And you were the one who told me, like, no, that's your special sauce. Like, that's what makes you different from so many other marketing consultants and strategists out there, is that you've done all the pieces, and your secret sauce is the ability to look at all those pieces and figure out, how do they fit together, or how do they not? How do we make them fit together? And so I had to say that, because that was a big epiphany that you helped me realize many years ago that has stuck with me.
And that is your superpower. And I've seen it in the projects we've worked on together, that, some people, if you're forcing everything to be down your specialty, well, maybe that isn't what the client needs, right? And really being open and looking at the whole picture is a true gift for your clients.
Yeah. And I'll just share, again, I didn't mean to make this episode all about me. I'm sharing it as a specific example so that the audience listening can think like, oh, okay, this could be something that I haven't realized about myself in the way that my team does something. Is that once you really help me realize that, it really helped me have better discussions with potential clients and help me in my own marketing messaging to say, this is why you should hire me instead of hiring an agency, or this is why you should hire me instead of hiring someone to execute your social media. Like, this is the core foundation of what you need to make all those other pieces work better. And I just had never really had that kind of framing and mindset around my experience and the way that I approach my work with my clients. So I think that that's a huge piece of branding. And again, getting back to like getting an expert like you or others in the branding space who can be that outsider looking in and help you as the business owner see things that you can't see yourself.
Yeah. And this is where my background in creativity helps as well, because I can't tell you how many times my customers are offering services they don't even talk about, or have benefits that to the client that they don't really say clearly. So I 100% agree. And like you, I went through this myself. When I first started, I have a unique way of doing brand that includes creativity, something called appreciative inquiry, or strengths and successes, and of course, 30 years of best practices. So that's what I was talking about. Like, oh, don't you want my unique process? It's patented, proprietary, all of this. Well, not patented, but trademarked. And they didn't. They don't care about my process. They really don't. They want to know what results I provide. Now, luckily, this process does produce results. 150 businesses, it's landed every time. But that was a key thing I learned. Like, stop talking about yourself, right? Start talking about the problem you solve.
Yeah. So how do you, without giving away all your secret sauce, obviously, how do you help business owners see that they haven't been focused on their client, even if they think they have been, in terms of that branding and setting that foundation that they really need to be solid on before they do all the other marketing things?
So one of the things I do is I'm trained in voice of customer interviews. So one of the things I do is incorporate customers in the session. And this is really powerful because, you would be embarrassed to interview and have them say all these nice things about you. But I can do that, right? I'm a third party. I can pull out all of these strengths and things that they really value. And when they hear it right from their customers, it flips a mindset switch and they begin to see really the impact that they're having and what are those things that are making a difference for their clients. So that's how I do it. I really incorporate real-time feedback from customers in the session and found this to be a game changer in every single case.
Yeah, that's huge. I know now that you say that, I remember that from our work together. And it's so interesting to hear what your clients say about you, especially if you haven't asked in the past. Because you might think it's one thing, but maybe it's something totally different that they really value, or maybe they just have a different way of saying it. And how helpful is that for you knowing how to market yourself and how to talk about yourself to know how your clients are going to explain it?
Yeah, that's part of it, right? The language they use, what they emphasize, what's first. And then we include a couple of clients so you have different voices. So they may give you insights on a new service you can offer based on what they value. And that's when it comes to what we call packaging, where you begin to say, how should we organize what our offering is so people get it? They connect immediately with the service. And I think that hearing the language and the problems you solve from clients right from them gives that kind of insight.
Yes. And now, again, now that you say this, it takes me back to the work that we did together. And I remember my service at the time, like my core offering, I called it a marketing audit. Like that, well, that was a piece of it, was a marketing audit. And you were like, I don't think that's the best way to talk about it, because audits are like intimidating. And, people think of like financial audits and tax audits and government, like, you don't really want to call it that and give people that kind of like, oh, geez, an audit, like that could turn people off. And so you helped me come up with the wording for my signature offering as well. So even just that, right? How do we talk about our service? What is the name of the service? Is really important and can make such a significant difference in how it's going to resonate with the audience we're trying to reach.
Yeah. And I also do naming and work with my collective on logos. Similarly there, how many people design a logo based on what they like? It should be based on what your customer wants and what you want to say to them at the highest level of your brand. So that's the other thing, even the naming of the business. I always look, I had a colleague and he had in his office a mirror, and he said, when you look in that mirror, that is not your client, right? You are not your client. You have to ask them. You can't assume they think like you do. And when you start asking them, it's a lot of fun too, because that's where the magic is in your business and in your marketing.
Yeah, totally. So we're covering a lot of great ground here, Kim, in terms of branding and what business owners should be thinking about. It's not about them, it's about their clients. What else have you seen? Because you've been at this for a long time. You've worked with so many different businesses. That's part of what I love too, is that you bring such a wide range of experiences and different types of clients, and that creativity. What's another kind of common mistake that you see businesses making in this space of branding? Or maybe it's not branding specifically, but related.
Yeah, I think especially now, what I'm seeing a lot is people who want a magic bullet. They read a blog, they read they watch a webinar, they go, I need a lead magnet. I need a this, I need a that. And the reality is you need all of it done well. And what happens without the brand is pretty soon you start to look very me too. You lose that authenticity and people start feeling yucky. Like, I'm doing all this marketing and it doesn't feel right. I'm saying things that maybe aren't true to who I am at the core of my business. So that's where conscious marketing comes in. And I'm passionate about this. And it's a nuance really, because a lot of businesses do this. But it's the idea is we're not going to force people to buy things they don't need. We're going to serve them with value. And when you really, like, if you do a piece of marketing that adds so much value to your clients, you feel great about it, right? Mm-hmm. When you're doing a piece of marketing that forces people to buy things they don't need, you don't feel so good about it, right? And that's conscious marketing. And one of the trends that I see happening is more and more awareness of this, and business owners that want this for themselves and their clients, so they feel great about the marketing that they're doing.
Yeah. This is another reason you and I are so aligned, because I talk all the time on this show and in my own marketing about authenticity and how important it is for businesses to show up in the ways that feel good to them, that feel authentic and aligned. And you're so right. There's no shortage of noise in the marketing world, and I don't see that ever going away. I think it's always going to be that way. And so business owners, I think, are always going to feel this pressure to do what everyone else is doing, or to do, whatever that next shiny object is. And like you were saying, it's easy to fall in that trap of like, I just want the silver bullet, right? Like, I feel like lately it's been like these lead gen companies who are just going to like cold call and get you 20 qualified leads on your calendar next week. Like, I don't know about the people listening to the show. I personally don't want 20 meetings next week. Like, that's too many, and I can't serve that many clients, and I want the right ones. I don't need a zillion. I need a smaller amount and the high quality. But just as an example, right? All these companies that have popped up to set these meetings and, get these leads for you. It's the same can be true for just about anything in marketing, right? It's like there's a new thing coming down the pipeline all the time. And it's so enticing as a business owner to be like, oh, this is the thing that's going to solve all my problems.
Mm-hmm. But do less and have it really serve, right? Have it be meaningful. That's what it's all about, right? And, of course, you have to follow best practices, be consistent, all of those things that I know you talk to your clients about, but it feels differently when it's something really valuable that you're saying to your clients.
Yeah. And I think, for those listening to the show, if you are feeling like your marketing, A, hasn't been landing and getting you the results you want, and B, just hasn't felt great to you, like I would encourage anyone to take a step back and say, okay, we need to be doing this differently. I tell business owners all the time, like, you shouldn't hate your marketing. You shouldn't dread your marketing. Like, if that's how you feel about marketing, then you're doing it all wrong and we need to fix it. Like, let's get you on a track to do this in a way that feels good to you and that you get excited to show up that way, because that's going to get you better results. That's going to help you really connect with those ideal clients you want to work with. So again, I think that's just another area that you and I are so aligned on.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And a lot of people are in that situation now. They're not proud of their website. They're not connecting, even though they're working hard on a lot of stuff, it's not giving them an ROI because it's not authentic. It's not serving.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, this really ties us full circle back to how I think we started this conversation, which was what you had said about a lot of business owners that you work with haven't seen results in their marketing because they haven't taken the time to really focus on getting clear on the branding aspect first before they do all the other marketing pieces. And I say the same thing just about marketing in general, in terms of you might be super busy and you might be spending a ton of money on all these marketing things and not getting the results because there's no strategy that's tying it together. You're just kind of doing these little tactics all over the place. You're chasing the shiny object. You're going after whatever new marketing thing just got released last week because so-and-so told you had to do it. If we don't have that strategy, and getting back to, the branding aspect too, like if we don't have that core foundation in place first, we could be really busy and spending a ton of money on our marketing and just not getting the results we want.
Yeah. The other thing I see, and I work with a lot of B2B companies as well as B2C, and a lot of them have a fair degree of complexity, manufacturers, tech companies. And if they do things that their customers create a disconnect in their mind about the brand, they can lose a lot of trust. And this happens all the time. Like if you're following the shiny object, and it comes off as very fake, you may lose that trust you've built as a B2B brand. And it takes you a long time to get there, a long time, especially now where there's so much clutter. So again, really be intentional with the brand piece of it and make sure it fits with what your customers will trust.
Yes. Yes. Such good advice. So many great insights, Kim. We have, I think, given listeners tons to think about, to consider, to reflect on in their own businesses. As we get ready to wrap up our conversation, you've already shared so many great tips and pieces of advice, but is there any last kind of piece of advice or lesson learned that you want to leave listeners with?
Yes, I would encourage each listener to talk with one of their favorite clients and ask them what they find valuable about either their product or service or their brand, preferably the brand itself, right? And all of us can do it. All of us should be doing it more. And then see if that changes your strategy for 2026.
I love that. How simple is that too, right? Like we all have a handful of favorite clients that we love to work with. Like just send an email, reach out, ask for a 30-minute call. I love that. That's such a great tangible next step, which I'm always all about. So, Kim, as we wrap up here, I would love to give you the chance to share with listeners, how can they connect with you? How can they learn more about the work that you do?
I would really encourage people to go to my website, www.inspiredoutcomesnow. Don't forget the NOW.com. I also do a monthly newsletter on LinkedIn. Love you all to kind of sign up for that as well. And I really am looking forward to continuing our collaboration, Kristi. So wonderful.
Yes, me too.
To be here
Me too,
today.
for sure. There will be many more clients to come that we both get to serve. So thank you so much,
Yay.
Kim, for coming on the show. I appreciate your willingness to take the time and share so much great wisdom and expertise with our audience.
And thank you for hosting this great resource.
Of course.